Hey everybody, it's Xeno here, and I'm back with another video for you. That's right, today we're looking at the best games of 2022. In my own humble opinion. But yeah, since we missed out on talking about a lot of really cool stuff last year, I wanted to talk about it now. I wanted to talk about the top 5 best games that I played last year. Also a few honorable mentions in there. They'll get a word in. But there was just really a lot of very quality games that came out last year, and I want to share some of my opinions. So, I'm kind of over overly long intros. That used to be my thing, but now I think that's not going to be my thing this year. New Year's resolution for you. Get to the point with the intros. Anyway, let's just jump into it. Sonic Frontiers is a game I am so happy to put at number 5 on my top 5 games of 2022, because this is a game that is so good, but it could have been so bad. Sonic Frontiers is, in my opinion, the best Sonic game ever made. It's Sonic, but in an open world. I've only ever dreamed of how a character so synonymous with the idea of speed could translate into an open world setting like this. But Sonic Team has actually done it. They actually have done this successfully. Sonic Frontiers is a good game. Might be a little janky, it's still a Sonic game, we're not working any super miracles here, but I mean, it's really good. I know this is going to sound very weird and out of place, but when playing Sonic Frontiers, I couldn't help but compare my experience with it to that of Mario Odyssey. It's a classic rivalry, right? Sonic versus Mario. It makes sense, except not really, because these are very different games, but in my head, it made sense, so I did it. Yes, these are very different games. One feels like a layered, carefully crafted, magical platforming experience, and the other feels like a hot mess, but in a very fun and enjoyable way that only a Sonic game can. Yes, it's janky. It can get a little repetitive in large doses, but the highs in this game are just so high. The boss fights are incredible, especially the first one. I love that boss fight so much. It makes you feel so powerful. Using Supersonic in the boss fights, amazing idea, not just keeping him like an end game thing or like a thing for people that actually do whatever it is you do to unlock Supersonic. This tells you how much I actually know about the Sonic series. Yes, I am a fake fan. Exploring the world is also just such a joy. Like I said, putting a character with that much speed in an open world setting is just bound to do good things because, first of all, you counteract the whole idea of, oh, the world is empty, who cares? I go so fast that I miss all the empty parts. I go for the cool stuff. The world design here also actually works for me. I feel like these are well-designed worlds and they're fun to go through. I know, yes, there's random floating junk everywhere and it might not look super pleasing to the eye, but dang it, it's fun. It's just fun. There's so many springs and weird things everywhere and you always just feel cool traversing all this. Do the cyberspace levels remind me a little bit too much of Shrines in Breath of the Wild? Yeah. But that's a good thing. They didn't even have to do this, but they basically went and put a pretty decent 3D Sonic game inside of the new open world Sonic game to break up the open world gameplay, so when you get bored of it, you can go do the old Sonic gameplay, and it works. And even the story explanation for it kind of works. I feel like I just keep saying that over and over again about this game. It works, but I really feel like that's the best way to describe this game. Sonic Team finally found something that works, and I'm so excited to see where they take this idea next. Oh, and oh my gosh, the music, just listen to this. I love this game so much, and the fact that it is only number 5 on my 2022 list speaks to the quality of every other release we are about to talk about. I've had a very interesting relationship with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. One I've continuously avoided talking about for the past 6 months since its release. but it's time I finally come clean and say, I like the game. I just didn't love it. In my opinion, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the weakest of the numbered trilogy. The game pulls elements from the past 2 game stories, but still tells its own in the end. And that's kind of what I said I wanted in 2021 when the game was first rumored, but after they marketed it as a link between 1 and 2, somehow that set me up for disappointment with what was offered in 3. I know, it's weird. I got what I wanted, but I'm upset. I think a big part of that is just the way the story comes to feel very meaningless in a weird way, which once you play the game, you might understand what I'm saying more with that. I don't want to provide any spoilers whatsoever in this section because this is all just like general thoughts and stuff on story and all that. But if you played it, you might understand where I'm coming from with that. It also peaks story-wise in what you would believe is maybe like a halfway point to the game, kind of like Prison Island in 1, but that's not really the halfway point, and it just kind of fizzles out in the final few chapters after that event, which just really rubbed me the wrong way, and I think the ending is definitely like a lot weaker than the past 2 games, and that's not really something to be argued about. I love the themes this game explores, but for some reason, it just didn't do it for me. It wasn't fully there, and I don't know why. In a similar vein, the game has some amazing world building, but the restrictions of that world play as an overall detriment to how interesting the story and villains of the game can be. Overall, the main characters are definitely the highlight of this game. A wonderful, memorable cast that carries the plot, although as a side effect of the combat system, unfortunately feel very interchangeable from a gameplay perspective. I think making all 6 party members appear in battle is a good idea on paper, but in execution it hurts the game. Characters feel like they have less impact with attacks to make up for more characters being present in battle. You just feel overall less powerful, and it takes way too long for one character to drain an enemy's health bar. Along with this, having all 6 party members on the field plus a hero does not help with the sensory overload of characters screaming arts and arts going off and the many menus you already have on the screen. Now the interleak is there too, and there's extra arts, and I'm sorry, I love you Monolith Soft, but calm down. I have a lot more to say about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that I eventually plan to share. I know this seemed very negative for a game in my top 5 of 2022, but that's just because of the standards set by its predecessors. Still one of the best games of 2022, just one of the worst games in the Xenoblade series, in my opinion. Which is still a really good game. Which again, might change in the future. This game is now unfortunately associated with some of the hardest mental health struggles of my life from last year, making it a very bittersweet experience in my eyes. I hope that can change to a more positive outlook someday, but as it stands right now, that's my take.
For the roads, they go on without end. So look up, face forward, toward your chosen horizon, and just walk on.
I have been a Splatoon fan since the moment of its existence in the public eye. Yeah, that moment right there. That moment when I saw the squid. I knew. I'm gonna play this one a little too long. Let's just say I had a lot of fun with Splatoon 2, and yes, 3 was an exciting highlight of the year for me. This isn't a revolutionary sequel, but it is an effective and justified one. Contrary to my concerns before release, this game does stand out from Splatoon 2, especially with the little things. Quality of life improvements as simple as being able to skip the news, except when you can't, and then I just get really upset, like, why? I get it. I have to see the Splatfest results, I get it, but I've tasted what life is like without this and I can't go back. The game's got new, more accessible menus, a lobby that can be used as a test range that I will now forever take for granted, lots of new mode variety with Anarchy and Anarchy Open being split, as well as X-Rank battles now being there, Salmon Run 24 hours a day, and table turf battle, if you're into that. New maps, new weapons, a whole lot more variety in specials, and a lot of new content still on the way. I'm not sure if I enjoy the huge new season content drops over the more constant stream of smaller weapon updates and stuff like that, but hey, this is still getting Nintendo's best post-launch support for free. I can't complain. I also really want to see competitive play take off with Splatoon 3, which I know is asking a lot from a game published by Nintendo, but have you guys seen competitive Splatoon? Have you watched people play the game competitively? Because it's so fun to watch. I don't just say this because I like playing the game competitively. I say this because legitimately, I've never had more fun watching people play a video game competitively. Watching these tournaments, some of these are insane. I love watching competitive Splatoon. I want it to take off. I want it to be a big thing. Probably not going to be, but I can at least tell you guys, support competitive Splatoon. Let's see it. Let's tell Nintendo to support it more. I don't know. Yeah. I will say that the single player mode in Splatoon 3 was kind of underwhelming to me. It's not as good as Octo Expansion, even though it does take some cues from that. It's just overall kind of forgettable to me. I didn't even finish all of the levels in it because you don't have to finish it. I just wanted to see the story. The story is also very fun to follow as usual, although I have questions. I want answers. Maybe the paid DLC will tell us more, but I don't even know, is that paid DLC going to be for multiplayer or is it going to be for story? Because I think there's going to be some multiplayer stuff in there. Oh, also, the single player mode does have an awesome reference to Mario Sunshine that made my jaw drop, so it does get a total pass for that. Just doing that, it's a total pass. I don't care how mediocre the campaign is. You did that one battle, and the nostalgia in me blew up. So thank you. I really don't have much more to say about Splatoon 3 other than it continues to expand upon the fantastic base for a multiplayer shooter established in the first game, continued in the second, and continued more in 3. I can't wait to see what updates its lifetime will continue to bring, and the wonderful Splatfests that await us for the next few years. It's gonna be a fun ride. Since I played God of War 2018 in 2021, Ragnarok has sat near the top of my most anticipated games list, and I'm happy to say, it delivers. God of War Ragnarok does not disappoint. It takes the gameplay of God of War 2018 and refines it to near perfection. Just look at this. This is beautiful. This is just fun to watch. You don't even have to play this to enjoy it. It's just such a fun game to watch animation-wise. It's so brilliant. I can just look at this all day. Aren't you guys impressed? I mean, really. They hit it out of the park. Exploration can be kind of underwhelming or even frustrating at times, and some realms do get a lot more love than others. I'm looking at you, Vanaheim. Why do I spend so much time in Vanaheim? I mean, I love Vanaheim. Oh, I'm all for it. Big fan of Vanaheim. But, where's Niflheim, Asgard? I wanted to spend more time in realms like that, but just didn't really happen. No, it's all Vanaheim, which is cool. I like Vanaheim, but where's the? I mean, they're there. They're just not there as much as they should be. Midgard too. I wanted to see new parts of Midgard, but didn't happen. But I mean, I'm nitpicking here. This game is amazing. The story does exhibit some pacing issues due to its much larger scope, and some of the Atreus sections can drag a little bit, as it is just overall a whole lot more fun to play as Kratos, but it's a cinematic experience. One of the best examples I've seen of a game using the medium to expertly tell what is essentially an interactive movie. This game hits so hard emotionally, the performances from the mocap actors just absolutely amazing here. As I said earlier, combat-wise, it's just so much fun to watch too. The animations, so wonderful, vibrant, such a great-looking game as well. Really, one of the main reasons you should have a PS5 right now. And I mean, it's also on PS4, but like, I would buy PS5 if I had to play this game, because it is that good. I love God of War Ragnarok, and that's why it's number 2 on the 20 2022 list. That's right. Who's gonna be number 1? I don't know, but honorable mentions first. Here we go. Before we get to my top game of 2022, let's go over just a few honorable mentions that barely missed this list. First, we have Horizon Forbidden West, and man, I feel bad for Horizon. Twice. It happened twice. And I mean, they got backed into a corner with Elden Ring because that got delayed. That was originally going to come out at the end of 2021, but they moved it to February in 2022, and it overshadowed Horizon again, just like Zelda did. I only got halfway through Forbidden West before Elden Ring stole me away, but it was quite enjoyable and probably holds the title for the most beautiful game I've ever played. So if nothing else, you made a really nice looking game. Next up on the honorable mentions list is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Kirby is the perfect creation peak character design, and Forgotten Land is a good first foray into 3D for the series. It's an enjoyable little experience, and I'm looking forward to what's coming next. Finally, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus / Scarlet and Violet. I love the direction the Pokemon Company is taking with these new games. Actually taking risks, trying new things when they really don't need to, unfortunately. But they're still doing it anyway, and although they're not doing it the best, they could be doing it better, they're still at least doing it. And I haven't finished Violet yet, but it's got a lot of good things, and it's still being held back by a lot of jankiness, but it's a good game. And I'm optimistic about the future of Pokemon. Arceus feels like the less ambitious, but overall better crafted game, and I'm probably so far have enjoyed Arceus more than I have Violet, but they're both really good. And I like the direction, and I'm excited about Pokemon again. But with our honorable mentions gone, that only leaves one game left. And I think you can probably guess what it is. Elden Ring. The first From Software game I have legitimately played, and I was utterly blown away. The world, the variety of bosses, the scale of everything about this game, it's so fantastic. The Souls formula transfers so well into this open world that I can't even really imagine it another way, even though I know there is another way, and I'm tempted to go and try it, but I'm also like, I love Elden Ring. I don't know if I could live like that, like you people had to before. I know I'm spoiled, and I like it, okay? One thing I have to shout out this game for is its online functionality, because while it may seem rather bare bones, it's very, very fun and very useful, and probably the reason that I was able to complete Elden Ring. You see, I'm not very good at video games, and I have very little patience, and although I see the immense merit in playing a game like this that way, you know, like learning the bosses, fighting through it, triumphing over the despair of all that. I don't know if I could do it. I mean, in hindsight now, I'm like, yeah, I'd do it. I'd play through it regularly. I'd beat the game that way. But would I? Would I have that patience? Would I have that resolve? I don't know. I don't know if I would. But what I do know is even when cheesing this game by playing with friends who basically carried me, I still loved the experience. And it is still a fantastic game. I see the value in playing either way. I've seen the glimpses of utter triumph that I felt when I was able to conquer some of these harder bosses. I mean, they weren't that hard, but like, for me they were. And I'm sure it's a very similar feeling, if not like a magnified version of it, when you actually do go through this game all by yourself. You don't use all the cheese strats like the mimic tier or the inviting other players to basically fight for you. You just do it. Is it intimidating? Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, that's part of the journey. That's part of exploring the lands between, the rich and disturbing lore of these areas, the beautiful, magnificent vistas and monsters lurking in them, so many unique bosses, so many unique things to do, so many things to discover and explore, and just fun times to be had. It's a magical experience, and it really is a genre-defining game, I believe. We're not going to see anything like this again for a while, and you're going to see a lot of games learning from this one, because it's that good. It really deserves to be called, I think, everyone's Game of the Year for 2022, because it is that good. And that, my friends, is my top 5 games of 2022. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. If all goes as planned, this is one of a few videos that I'm actually getting out here at the beginning of the year, so that's kind of fun, that's kind of cool. I'm doing some stuff on the channel again, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. This was a rather unscripted video, just kind of me going over some thoughts I had about some of the best games that I played last year. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and liked what I had to say. Maybe you agreed with some of my opinions, maybe you didn't. Let's have a discussion in the comments down below, and just talk about it. I want to hear what you guys think. What were your favorite games of 2022? Leave the top 5 in the comments below. And yeah, thanks again so much for watching, guys. If you haven't yet already, remember, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, there's a few really cool videos on the way for the beginning of this year that I'm excited to share with you. So if you subscribe, you'll get to see those as soon as they come out. And I'm looking forward to being a little more active on the channel in 2023 as opposed to last year, and filling in on a few of those promises and ideas that I brought up in the last update videos. So I can't wait to see what the year will hold, and I am looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Zelda's this year, 2023. It's big and it's exciting. So I will see you guys soon with more new videos. Take care. Bye-bye.